Today we're going to talk about finding the area of trapezoids. So we've already talked about how to find the area of a rectangle, how to find the area of a triangle, and so our last shape is going to be the area of a trapezoid. Okay? So a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, which just means a shape with four sides. Quad means four, with only one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so what that means, if you remember from past grades, parallel sides or parallel lines are lines that will never touch. Okay, so two lines or two sides of every trapezoid are going to be parallel. Okay, number 2 says a trapezoid has two bases. The bases of a trapezoid, we're going to take out the word "are" and put must be perpendicular to the height. So just like a triangle and a rectangle, our height has to hit the base perpendicularly. So it has to hit at a right angle or what we would call a 90-degree angle. Okay, so if we go ahead and look down here at this shape, that means that this dotted line has to be our height because it hits perpendicularly. That's what that little box means. So if we were to have a number out here on this diagonal line, that couldn't be the height, this couldn't be the height. It has to be the line that hits perpendicularly. Okay? It says the area of a trapezoid is, and this is where we're going to write our formula. Now this is a kind of long formula, but we're going to practice it so that we'll be able to say it with no problem here in a little while. Okay, so it's going to be area equals parenthesis base 1, and that's a little 1 at the bottom, plus base 2. So in other words, you're going to take the two bases and add them together. Then you're going to multiply that sum by the height, and then you're going to divide by 2. So you add the bases together, whatever they add together to be, whatever the sum is, multiply by the height, then divide by 2. Okay, and we're going to skip number 5. So we're going to go straight to the examples. So looking at this first example, we do have a trapezoid, so we should automatically know what our formula is based on number 4. And remember, I always want you to write the formula for every shape you're finding the area for. So the first step is to write the formula. So area equals parenthesis, and write it exactly how we have it up here. B1 plus B2 times height divide by 2. Okay, now we've got to figure out which measurements are the base, which measurement is the height, or bases in this situation. So we know this has to be the height because it hits perpendicularly. So that means this is base 1 and this is base 2. Okay, so copy the formula down. We're finding the A area. We know that one base is 10, the other base is 14, multiplied by our height of 6, all divided by 2. Okay, so the first step is to do what's in parentheses, so we're going to add first. So area will equal 10 plus 14, which is 24, and I'm going to keep it in parentheses because this dot means multiplication, a little x means multiplication, and so does parentheses. So if I just write this 6 here, that means 24 times 6 because it's in parentheses. And then that's going to be divided by 2. So sometimes it's easy to mark out what we've done. So we did 10 plus 14, we got 24. So now we're going to do 24 times 6, which is 144. So we did this. And now we're going to divide 144 by 2 for our final step. And 144 divided by 2 gives us an area of 72. And then, because we're finding area, we need to be sure we do the measurement squared. So it's going to be meters squared. And that's our final answer. Okay? Let's move on down to this next example down here at the bottom. Okay? So, this one looks a little bit different than this one. Okay? We don't have two diagonal lines on the outside like we do up here and up here. Instead, we have one straight line coming down, hitting perpendicularly at a 90-degree angle. And then we have our bases, and then it comes down at an angle. Okay, so this is called a right trapezoid. Okay, because one of the sides hits at a right angle. All right, so first we write our formula. So it's area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Okay, and then we already know that this is our height because that's the line that hits perpendicularly. And then this is base 1, this is base 2. So area equals 15 base 1 plus 20 base 2 times our height of 7, all divided by 2. We add first, so area equals, and I'm keeping it in parentheses, 15 plus 20 is 35. Times 7, so we did this, all divided by 2. Now we want to do 35 times 7, and that gives us 245. So we did this step, and now we're dividing by 2. So 245 divided by 2 gives me an area of 122.5. And then because it's area, just like up here, we have to do our units squared. We're measuring in meters, so it would be meters squared. Okay? I want you to go ahead and try this example on your own. Okay? If you did this, you should have wrote your formula. Area equals base 1 plus base 2 times our height, all divided by 2. Next, you should have found that 3 is a base, 9 is a base, and then 6 has to be our height because it hits perpendicularly. So area equals base 1 is 3, base 2 is 9, times our height of 6, all divided by 2. We're going to do this addition first. So area equals 3 plus 9 is 12, multiplied by 6, divided by 2. 12 times 6 is 72, so we did that. Now we're going to divide 72 by 2. 72 divided by 2 gives me an area of 36, and then it's centimeters squared. Okay, and if you notice, I'm being very neat in all of my steps. So I need you to try your best to be very neat when you do area of any shape, but especially a trapezoid. Okay, and the last example we're going to do is this one. And if you need to turn your paper so that it looks like the other ones, you definitely can. Okay, so it is the same thing as this one and this one, but we're going to turn it back. And sometimes it's the easiest if you find your height first because it's always going to be what hits perpendicularly. So this hits perpendicularly, so this is my height. So my formula, area equals parenthesis base 1 plus base 2, close parenthesis, times my height, all divided by 2. Okay? And then this is a base. 12.2 is a base. So area equals 12.2 plus 9.2 times 5, all divided by 2. Okay, we're going to add first. So 12.2 plus 9.2 gives me 21.4 in parentheses. So we added multiply by 5, all divided by 2. 21.4 times 5 gives me 107 divided by 2 gives me an area of 53.5, and then we're measuring in centimeters, so it would be centimeters squared. And it's just that simple, okay? As long as you follow the formula and stay neat and write everything in order, you should have no problems, okay? Now we're gonna flip over to the back side of the paper, and I want you to try to do these on your own, okay? So there's nothing weird about any of these except 1, 2, and 3, they don't give you a shape. But they make it very easy because they give you base 1, give you base 2, give you the height. So once you write your formula, which you're going to write every single time, all you do is where base 1 is, you put 5. Where base 2 is, you put 2. Where the height is, you put 7. Divide by 2. Then you just have to do the math. You add first, then you multiply that sum by your height, which is 7, and then you divide that number by 2. Okay, so go ahead and do as much of this sheet on your own as you can. You need to try to get through number 7. You should have plenty of time.